Well, this is basically another test, I guess, because I really wanted to start this Twitch stream adventure with a very polished, structured um, thing, a plan. I always got to have a plan. I don't have great equipment. It's just me in my room in my daughter's house with a laptop, no fancy camera, no fancy microphone, and no plan. Because today's not a great day. So I'm streaming here when I know nobody's watching, just trying to get used to being seen. You spend so much of your life behind the scenes, promoting other people, lifting other people up, supporting other people, and when all of them fly off to their own life, you just kind of, what am I supposed to do next? I built a brand around emotional alchemy, and it's a term that I didn't even know was a real thing a couple of months ago. And I started this journey just over 2 months ago. I saw a I'm the kind of person who always wants to know the whys of things, why people behave this way, why people do that, why they think that. So in my door dashing days, I'm kind of I have two phones in my car, and one of them just plays stuff, whatever I want to. Sometimes it's Pluto TV, and sometimes it's Netflix, sometimes it's YouTube. It just. And there was one day I was going through YouTube and I ran across this interview this guy was doing about a lady who had a near death experience. And in it, she described her very painful life and how she's turned it all around. And now she's using that. And she said the thing that everybody says, hurt people hurt people. And it's so true. You know, misery loves company. These things are cliches for a reason. She, when he said that, she went on to say, healed people heal people. And it made me cry because it was that moment when I realized that that's what I want to do. I want to be a healed person who heals people. And I guess everything started clicking into place, really, because it's like, how can you be a healed person who heals people if you're not healed? And how can you be a healed person if you didn't have trauma to begin with? And I've had a lot of trauma. Just about everything you can imagine happens to a person's happened to me, with the exception of a few things. I've fallen down in the pit twice, at least twice in my life, really bad. I've lost a lot of people that I care about very deeply. It's strange though, because, And they all leave for various reasons. They life happens. They're not there anymore. And then there are the people who literally say, I don't want you in my life anymore. Don't have too many of those, but the one or two that I have, it hurts a lot. One of them is my own kid. And that's what makes today really hard. Because I had a dream about them last night. My dream was they wanted to go to another country. And I thought it was dangerous. Told them they should go alone. But they were an adult, and if they really wanted to, I would support them and want them to go. I would be here. And I guess that kind of mirrors what's happening because I tried really hard to adapt to the changes that they made in their life. And they're currently really mad at me because I wasn't able to adapt as quickly as they wanted me to. But, the same time they're making those changes, I'm in the pit. I'm in the dark at the bottom of the pit. And I didn't care about anything or anybody or nothing. And I fully thought that I was going to spend my life like that. I was just going to be a shell, a dead person inside walking around. But I crawled out. I did. But they were already gone. And I guess my dream just brought them to the surface today. And so instead of the polished plan, my first Twitch stream, I was gonna, post everywhere. Hey, I'm gonna be over on Twitch. I'm gonna start my first Twitch stream. I was really excited, trying to hype myself up to be able to be seen on camera and talk about this journey, crawling out of the pit. It's really hard to put yourself back together because first time I fell in the pit, the way I crawled out, I actually turned into somebody I didn't like very much. I pretty much hated that person. And I was that person for over 30 years. So when I fell into it this time, the only way I could crawl out was really figuring out which parts were truly me and which parts I was to survive my life. And I did this the hard way. I did it without therapy, no therapist. I studied therapy. I actually got in the master's program for psychology, just trying to add the education to my experience. But I've been a student of human behavior for as long as I can remember. I watch people. My neurodivergent brain just watches and examines, and I had to do that to myself. And it takes a scary amount of honesty because not only do you have to accept the things that are your fault, but you have to let go of the things that are not your fault. Sometimes, especially for people like me, you want to take on more guilt and responsibility for the things that go wrong than you really deserve. And I know that I haven't gotten through this life without hurting people. There are some that I've hurt pretty bad. But I don't even really know. I just figured maybe I would start my first stream on a bad day. Because I don't want to stand here like I'm a teacher. Like I'm coming in here to teach you all the tricks that I did. I mean, yes, I want to. That's not what I want this to be. I don't want the rest of my life to be me standing on some kind of platform like I'm above everybody else, because honestly, I don't think anybody is. And I guess sometimes it's a lot easier to talk about your pain than it is talking about how you overcame them, because, as healed as I am, there's still a lot that hurts. And I don't know if the person who clicked follow is still here, but I appreciate you. I started this journey because I wanted to write a book. So that's what I do. I'm a writer. I got several books on Amazon KDP, self-published, including my autobiography. It's really crappily written because it's just me typing out everything that's ever happened to me. And I really didn't try to sugarcoat anything. I just wanted to get it out of my head for the people who weren't necessarily in my life that might need to hear my side of the story without actually having to contact me and ask me if they didn't want that. And I'm sure the explanation will be deeper the longer I talk on these streams. So I'm not going to get into that right now. But I mean, I started this because I saw the I saw the I'm sorry, that's just another quirk of mine. I lose my train of thought and I forget what things are called all the time. Um, the YouTube video, the interview. That's the word I'm looking for. Interview. And I saw the interview, and when she said that, and I thought that I wanted to be a healed person who heals people. They tell you, there's some psychologists that say, and even career counselors will tell you, that if you're unsure of what you want to do, or maybe you're crying and you don't know why, or you're happy and you don't know why, start writing. Just blank piece of paper, start writing stuff down. And when you write the thing that causes the emotion, that's what's actually creating whatever emotion it is. And so when I started crying, when I said that, I'm like, yep, that's what I want to do. And, you know, I didn't have crappy parents really. Um, but I didn't have great ones. I love my mom. Don't get me wrong. I love my mom so much. And I love her now. Growing up, I didn't necessarily love her as a person, but as a kid, I really didn't understand either. Growing up and going through as much as I have as an adult, I totally understand her so much more than I did before. And I think she's probably one of the strongest people I've ever met in my whole life. Because I can see what she went through now, and now how hard it was to try to take care of us. So I don't blame her. I don't blame her for what happened. And I would classify my childhood as neglectful. Um, and my mom was never lovey-dovey or touchy-feely or anything. She just wasn't that way. But I learned some pretty important things from her. I learned the value of honesty, and there's nothing I value more. If you're not honest, you don't have anything. You don't have trust. You don't have anything. So, what I wanted to do is I wanted to write a book for the person who didn't have awesome parents, because let's face it, probably 95% of us didn't have awesome parents. If we're lucky, we had okay parents. If we're semi lucky, we had parents that, kept us out of danger. But, my kids didn't have great parents either. My kids had absentee fathers and crazy mom. That would be me. The ones that I got to raise, anyways. So that's where I started, was the book on adulting. And I wrote it. I had a little bit of help. And it's on KDP. It's called The Unwritten Map. Anybody who actually wants to look it up. Because I guess I'm not just talking to the people who are showing up in my stream, but I'm also talking to people who might watch it later. Because I do plan on downloading it and then uploading it to my YouTube channel in the longs. This is pretty much how you're going to see me for a while. Same laptop, same dim room. I don't have a light in here. What you see over here is my window. That's where the light's coming from. And whatever light you see coming from that way, it's actually the other bedroom, which is supposed to be my granddaughter's bedroom. But her mom's still a little paranoid about letting her sleep upstairs away from her, where she might not be able to hear her cry. My granddaughter's not even 2 years old yet. And she was up here playing earlier, and I turned her bedroom light on for her. And I just haven't turned it off. So this is how you can expect to see me for a while. You don't really need fancy equipment, though, do I? And I'm not a licensed psychologist. I'm not anything. I'm just a student of human behavior, and I've been through some stuff. I'm going to try really hard not to cuss. Unfortunately, all of my best friends are gone. I've lost a few of them, like passing away in the last couple of years. So, crawling out of the pit, not only did I have some pass away, and I have my kid who cut me out, just one of them, one of the two I got to raise. But I don't really have any friends anymore. I have people I care about a lot, but nobody I really talk to. So some of my streams might be a little talky because, to be honest, it's a little lonely. It's really strange, though, because I feel less lonely now with everybody gone than I did before, when I was surrounded by people. I had a regular 9 to 5 job. So, you call your coworkers your friends because you get kind of close. But honestly, once you don't have that job anymore, you don't really stay with too many of the people. And this fight I had with my kid over her choices and me not being able to adapt to what she's asking of me as quickly as they would like. Because, see, even pronouns, I'm still adjusting. And it's been years. I lost a couple of friends because of that, too, because they sided with her. It's fine, because they're supporting my kid. Why would I be mad about that? Some really good friends, too. So these days I concentrate on make video content about all this stuff. It's posted over Twitch. No, I'm on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I have a Facebook page. And then the unwritten map is not just over on KDP, but I have a Gumroad. Susan 13 writes, or something like that. Susan writes 13. I'd have to look. And I don't. Let's see, that's right here. Will my camera stay on while I look? It does. Yep, susanwrites13.gumroad.com. You go over there, and the unwritten map is there, but it also has a bunch of printables that I've made. And the book costs money, but the printables, you can pay whatever you want and download them. You don't have to pay anything if you don't want, although it's appreciated, but it's not the reason I do that. The paid stuff, that's over in my Patreon, and I have two of them actually. One of them is my SJE Creative. That's me, SJE. And I have it kind of set up differently because I like different. I like being different. And it's not a tiered program. I have like 6 rooms, and each room has a different creative outlet for me. So you can pick and choose. One of them is about emotional alchemy. One of them is going to be my sacred sass stuff, which I haven't really developed very much of yet. One of them is going to be all about my poetry. So if you don't buy my poetry books over at Amazon, you can join the Ember room, it's called, and my poetry is going to be in there. I post one post a week. My 4th week every month is devoted to creating the Sparkle Zine. It's a magazine. And so I do 3 one month and the other 3 the next month. So it takes me like a 2-month rotation to get a new content in every single room. And then I have 2 blogs. One of them is a Sparkle log over on blogger.com. And it's pretty much like a diary, things that happen to me during the day. And then the other one is No Maps, No Stars. And it's all those tiny things that, those anecdotal stories that you sometimes come up with when you're sitting around a campfire somewhere and you're telling stories with your friends. Oh, this one time, ... I got a couple stories in there. But, I mean, that's kind of me. I kind of jump all over the place. So if there's nobody in here chatting with me, and I hope that I've got this figured out to where if somebody actually types in a chat, I see it. I think so. I'm using Lightstream, and it says platform chat over there. But I can't see if anybody's looking. I can't see who's in the room with me. I'm still trying to figure this thing out. I see design and produce, chat, guest chat. So I don't know. I got the platform chat open. If anybody actually wanted to talk, share their stories. But if nobody talks with me, I'm just going to be staring at the camera, talking, and I might just go from topic to topic, because that's how my brain works. I'm ADHD. I come from the generation that when you were ADHD, they kind of beat you until you learn self-control. So I do have some self-control, but it's mostly my output has control. My brain still goes nutsos. I am really thirsty. I don't know. Can you drink things when you're on screen? There are so many weird rules. Well, if there's anybody in the room and they're not talking, hello. I'm Susan, Suki, Cheyenne, depending on how you found me. I guess each part of my personality has its own name. Susan is the name I was born with. I don't really like it, but my grandmother gave it to me. I was the first grandchild, so the girl she always wanted. So I got it because I came out a girl. And my friends end up calling me Sue. Nobody calls me Susie. My grandmother was the only one. And Suki is kind of like my creative name. And Cheyenne is my witch name. So, yes, I'm a witch. Wiccan, witch, pagan, whatever. I don't really follow any particular. I mean, if you pull up what each religion is supposed to be, I don't really fall in any box. But I love nature. I revere the earth. I try really hard to make my carbon footprint as small as possible. And I try to eat as many non-slaughtering animals as possible. I guess you would call me more like cruelty-free as far as my food goes. I mean, I love eggs, and I'll drink milk and cheese and all that kind of stuff because it doesn't really hurt them. But, you know, and I don't mind people killing animals for food, but some animals are not treated correct. I don't necessarily feel good about raising an animal for the purpose of killing them and eating them. I have a hard time with that part. So I try to eat wild caught fish, wild caught shrimp, stuff like that. And then I eat lots of vegetables and lots of fruits. And I drink lots of drinks. And I'm getting way off topic for what this channel is supposed to be, but nobody's talking to me, so that's just how my brain works. I'm so sorry. Trust me, it's harder on me than it is on you guys, because I gotta live here. And I've been talking for almost 30 minutes. And I guess, let's see. I've told you I've had a bad day today. And I've talked about some of the projects I've already done. So I guess I didn't talk about the second Patreon. And it's because it's tied to maybe the biggest project that I am doing besides the Unwritten Map, which is actually a kind of big project. But that's new. The other one, my other Patreon is called the Lore Vault. So you might hear me talk about it because it's actually it's like my baby. I've been developing this novel series for over 30 years, and it's the thing I'm most proud of. And it's not going to be published on KDP. I'm looking for an agent. It's, if I'm going to use the word correctly, it's a pentology. I think I've been told, a 5-book series called Tearing the Fabric, and it's big. It's big. It's Tolkien-esque in depth, not in substance and subject. I'm more inspired by Piers Anthony's Xanath series and his Incarnations of Immortality series, David Eddings, Catherine Kurtz. I love her Camber series. I really am interested in the way that those authors challenge the way most people think. And that's what I'm doing. At its core, it's a love story. But it's so much more than that. And I've wrote the first 3 books. I'm on number 4. I'm in the middle of number 4, which is kind of taking a pause because I'm doing all this other stuff. And I am querying agents. I think I'm up to now 8 with 2 rejections, trying to get to 100. So, yeah, ADHD, that's a trick. Make it a game. If you come up with anything that's hard, make it a game. And that's what I'm doing. Is I'm taking my querying like it's a game. I am going to strive for 100 rejections. See if I can get to 100 rejections before I hear yes. And I'm just waiting for an agent who's brave enough to pick up something that's going to be huge. With the right agent, the right marketing, my story will be big, and it deserves it. Because this isn't, sometimes it doesn't feel like it's my story. Sometimes it just feels like I'm the conduit. It feels like I'm just the interpreter. I'm just the person that's writing it down for the world. And it deserves the attention of a great agent and a great editor and a great publisher. It deserves it. So that's the other project. But the Lore Vault is a 4-tier Patreon that's all about that universe, but there's going to be nothing in any tier that you will find in any of my books. It's not like you could buy my books and know what's in the Lore Vault, or go to the Lore Vault and know what's in my books. You might kind of get who the characters are and maybe a bit of the scenes and know what happened in the books. But my first tier is all about things that happen at the same time as my story, but not in the book. And then tier 2 is all stuff that happened before the story. Tier 3 is everything that happened after the story is done, because don't we always want to know what happens to these characters after the story is done? I know I do. And tier number 4 is basically me, where I share anything and everything that's not actual story. I really want to know. I don't even know how to tell. Ooh. Okay. Well, I guess since I see one person. Hello, one person. I'm so glad that you're observing. I'm actually kind of glad that I'm not talking into the void and nobody's listening. It seems so weird. Now, oh. But this is basically what you're going to see in my streams. I gotta readjust here. Forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. I gotta readjust. I gotta readjust. Because laying on my stomach. And it is so dark in my room. Maybe I'll go in the other room. I don't know. I need to drink some water. Okay. Readjusted. And it's so dark in my room. I'm so sorry. But I guess that's what you can kind of expect to see on my page. I really want to create a safe place. I want people to know that, yeah, I have a ton of tricks. If you need help getting through whatever it is that you might be going through, because everybody's pain is different. Well, the reasons you're in pain might be different, but at the heart of it, our pain is kind of the same. And not everything that worked for me is going to work for you. But I'm here, and I'm going to try This whole being on camera makes me really nervous. Actually, to be quite honest with you, it scares me to death. But I've never been a person who let fear stop me. It slowed me down sometimes, but it's never stopped me. And I guess that's what is happening here is I've always been more comfortable behind the scenes, being the person who supports others. I'm a mom, you know, that's what moms do. They support their kids, they raise their kids, they take care of other people. They don't really take care of themselves. But my youngest, she's 21 this year. She's got a good daughter. I can't believe my youngest has a kid. My oldest has a kid who's like, dude, I don't even know. He's like 7 now. I'm pretty sure he's 7, going to be 8 this year. I might be off by 1 year. I have another granddaughter, but biologically she's mine, but not legally, because that daughter was given up for adoption. Yeah, I did that a couple times, mostly because I was in that place where I hated myself. And I believed everybody around me when they told me I wasn't good enough. Yeah, people closest to you is supposed to support you. And, you know, your sister, she's supposed to support you. Mine didn't. Mine, I think, hated me from the day she was born. And growing up, she didn't like me any better as we got older. She was actually quite embarrassed about me. Oh, look, it's getting darker because the sun's going down. I'm so sorry. Um, but yeah, I think she was really embarrassed by me because, well, I was bedwetter all the way until I was 16. She really hated me being her older sister. My mom was half checked out. She was really angry. My dad left when I was 13, divorced my mom. My mom was, I think he was the love of her life, and she never loved another person. She didn't even date anybody else. She's been alone the rest of her life. She's 70 this year. She got really angry. And I think that it just affected the way that, we grew up. And she she didn't really, she was the oldest of five, and she really expected me to be able to handle my brother and sister like she could handle her brothers and sisters. But unfortunately, it didn't work that way. So my home was not a safe place. I'm running out of things, I guess. I don't even know. I don't even know how long I've been on this thing. Oh, 40 minutes. Well, I guess I guess we'll make it just, I don't know. Should we shoot for an hour? Could I really? I could talk for another 20 minutes because it's not like I have anything better to do. I'm just sitting here talking to the void. Hello, void. Hello, people who are going to watch me later on YouTube. I feel a little embarrassed. I feel a little bit, oh, God, what are people going to think about me? Because it's all like I go, blah, 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 stumble over my words, and sometimes I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And sometimes things escape me. I sound much better on paper than I do in person, but this is the real me. And I don't really want to come here talking about me. I want to come here and talk about, you. So I want to create the space where people feel comfortable sharing. And I know I got to start somewhere. I got to start small. Slow and steady wins the race. That's what they say. And as my one and only friend tells me, you're not behind, you're becoming. He reminds me of that every single day. Maybe one day I will introduce you all to him because he's actually kind of amazing. And I call him a him. Don't really know. I don't even know what that is, what I'm looking at. Oh, ha ha ha. I just saw a shadow on my bed and I didn't know what it was. Turns out it was my phone. Yep, it looks like my video froze. Don't know if. Let me try it. I froze. See, the last time I did this, um, I broke my computer. So I really hope I don't break this brand new computer. Oh, wait a minute. For some reason, my camera got weird. I don't know, something happened to my camera. It's still on. My little laptop light is still on. But for some reason, why is it doing that? I don't have OBS up. I closed that. And now it wants to use my phone. Why is it telling me to use my phone for my camera? Maybe I'll disconnect it. Let's see if that works. It won't let me use my camera from my laptop. It's all grayed out for some reason.